If there's one thing Call of Duty never fails to deliver, it's a brand new way to confuse, overwhelm, and spiritually exhaust the people who paid full price for it. Black Ops 7 somehow cranks that tradition up to 11. Some of the stuff they've changed is definitely worse, but surprisingly, some of it's actually better. I'm not gonna lie, it's maybe not the majority of the stuff, but they sure don't tell you what's going on with everything we intend to talk about in this video. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 things Call of Duty Black Ops 7 doesn't tell you. Starting off with number 10, skipping through the campaign. Every mode in Black Ops 7 is connected, which means you'll get unlocks and XP for completing the campaign this time around. The campaign can be a slog for players who are not necessarily interested in the story, but there are ways to make the game shorter, or rather get through the game faster. We've seen playthroughs that took 8 hours or more, but you can blaze through it with a few simple tips. First of all, turn off matchmaking unless you're with a very coordinated group of friends. Getting a random bunch of allies is just gonna slow you down. The extra characters also make the enemies and bosses exponentially harder. There's no difficulty settings in the campaign, so you're best off with the biggest boost that you get in going solo. Hilariously, we discovered very early that enemies don't chase you far, or they even stick to one spot a lot of the time. You can sprint past almost all the enemies in the game and skip any cutscenes rendered in the game. If it's not rendered in the game, you can't, but if it is, skipping content is pretty easy, especially in the open world Avalon missions, which take up about 50% of the campaign. And if you get an objective to wait for a hack to complete, you can hide in a corner or wait near an armor station. You only need to shoot enemies if you're told to. Usually, it's not even necessary. You have been called to duty elsewhere, friend. Just go. Another duty that we're going to call you to is subscribing to the channel. Surprisingly few of you folks watching this right now have, and well, it helps us out a whole lot, and we hope that it helps you find something you want to see or hear, or whatever it is that we do here at gameranx you like. Moving on to number 9, you can make the campaign easier with the active camo ability. It's easily one of the best ones for skipping through levels fast, which I don't know if you've picked up on. The campaign is a dud, and you're gonna want to, because the end game actually pretty cool. We'll talk about that in the next point, but sprinting with the active camo ability, it just makes it's cake. Enemies are ridiculously spongy in this campaign, but I mean, even in the endgame mode, even though it's better, but if you're trying to get past this, you're gonna need to deal with a ton of spongy enemies. So you'll want to learn stuff like having tons of armor while shooting. You can armor up even when shooting. Your guns are loaded with 100 bullet magazines, so spraying and praying is the way to go here. There are some really specific tips, like during one mission you have to solve a puzzle. It's the only mission with the puzzle in the entire campaign, and if you're playing with friends, it's super annoying to solve. The solution is to use the computer terminal on the opposite wall from the keypad, and then you look at the big computer screen with random numbers behind the counter, input the code, which is 5996, to unlock the big door and progress. A later mission will tell you to sneak past zombies in a spooky prison. Also totally unnecessary, just stab the zombies to collect extra armor. The undead drop armor packs, and they only take one hit. Later in that mission, you're gonna be told to hide behind a big cart. Don't bother with it. You can run straight past the machine guns. During the campaign, you'll have to fight multiple giant bosses. Seems like you'll need a heavy weapon like a rocket launcher to do real damage, but you really actually don't. Your regular machine guns deal more damage and faster. These guys are only vulnerable when they stop moving, so you don't even need good aim. Just stand near an armor crate and keep shooting to end these fights quick. Moving on to number 8, how endgame works. There's a reason you will want to blaze through the story, like I said. After finishing the campaign, you unlock endgame mode, which is a post-game PvE map where you're joining other players to earn levels, collect loot, and try not to die. Dying or failing to extra fate resets you back at 0, and it can be especially tough to take on the final challenge, even at max level. There are 4 zones. Each zone gets tougher, as video games are wont to do. You'll want to start in Zone 1 and earn enough combat rating to exfil in Zone 2. Keeps going up like that until you reach max level and face off against the final boss of the map. To progress faster, you'll want to focus on completing missions. The missions are marked green on your map. They're short encounters. They reward you with upgrades and weapons. You just keep completing those until you're high enough level to reach Zone 3. Then you're going to need to also get combat rating 30 if you want to survive in Zone 3. Like, the enemies are literally too tough to fight, so you have to grind. Go to the markers on your map for mini objectives and go to checkpoints for big rewards. At combat ranking 10, you earn double damage for all your weapons, and it makes Zone 2 possible to explore. Now, I'm sure that there are people who will find this to be busy work sounding or tedious sounding, but there are a lot of people who play games specifically for these types of features, and I think there's going to be a subset of people that, once they get through the god-awful campaign, are going to be pretty happy with this mode. And number 7 is surviving endgame mode. Death can come really quick in the endgame, especially if you're playing solo. We recommend running with a team there, even if they don't stick together. Randoms can revive you, and one revive is all you need to keep going, but there are other useful skills you'll want to equip. The active camo field upgrade is extremely useful for survival. If enemies are spawned all around you, pop active camo to escape and regenerate. The armor regen upgrade is also ridiculously good at keeping you alive in firefights. Also, you want to pay attention to the power number on each mission objective. 200 power jobs are much easier than 500 at the start of the game, for example. Focus on low power to level up and work your way up to more rewarding missions. If you want to take all your stuff with you, you will need to use an exfil site. Activating an exfil will spawn enemies called fears. A zone champion will also spawn during the second round, and these enemies are too tough to deal with if you aren't leveled up. Keep up with that simple cycle, and you will earn a lot of loot though. Just don't die and forget to extract, or you'll lose everything. You only have 45-minute sessions, so keep in mind where your nearest extraction point is and how much time you have left. If you stay too long, you just lose everything. And if you're under-leveled in a zone, that exfil can take way too long. And number 6, don't ignore overclocks. It's something we didn't know. Field upgrades and score streaks have variant versions that you can select. By using these in multiplayer, you unlock these variants called overclocks, which enhance them immensely. You might not know about overclocks, so check them out in your loadout to learn more. A gadget you might not care about becomes really useful with the right overclock setting. For example, the squad link device is one of these. It doesn't seem all that great at first glance, but check out the overclocks to see if that doubles the score you'll earn for all teammates near the squad link. It makes it really good for holding control points. Then there are more overclocks like the UAV, which flat out makes it cost less score to deploy. That's incredibly good. You'll be able to deploy them more often and soak in all the extra XP that you'll be earning from assists. There are overclocks for every one of these gadgets. Open up your loadout, look at everything, even the stuff you don't care about. Like, there might be something amazing to collect. And number 5, get the strategist perk. By selecting 3 of the same perk category in a loadout, you'll earn a bonus 4th perk, and the community seems to agree that these green perks are the best ones. Select Charge Link, Flak Jacket, and Tech Mask to get the strategist bonus perk. These 4th perks are called combat specialities. They unlock additional buffs for your loadout. There's a whole lot of these you can check out for yourself, but we think you'll need to try the strategist perk probably more than anything else by selecting the 3 green perks. This perk gives you the global ability to see enemy content, deployables, score streaks, and so on through walls. You can literally see around corners with this perk. It also increases score for objectives and sabotage, so if you're grinding XP on small maps, this is the easiest and best perk to pair with Squad Link. The strategist perk allows you to deploy equipment faster, so you can get right back to the action. It's a great way to support your team, build more score, and that of course makes you more useful. Moving on to number 4, use the Rampage Inducer in Zombies. For experts, the early rounds in any Zombies map can be very slow. The Ashes of the Damned map changes that with a special item called Rampage Inducer that's located in spawn and isn't explained anywhere in game. By interacting with this device, enemies will spawn a lot faster, and that's a very good thing because you can kill more zombies, earn more points, and expand exploration faster. This doesn't change how many zombies appear each round, but it just speeds speeds up the zombies and their spawn rates. You can kill them a lot quicker. You can also shut this device off at any time, so just go to the object, choose to interact again, and disable the rampage inducer. It can be turned on and off as many times as you want. It's pretty great. It's like a toggle switch, and when it's on, zombies mode is faster and more difficult. There are not a lot of benefits to this at higher rounds, so you're better off turning it off when you've collected enough points to leave spawn. And number 3, you can get free loot in zombies. It's a second secret in the spawn room, believe it or not. At spawn, go in the corner to the right and you'll find a strange pot item you can collect. By collecting this weed killer thing, you'll be able to interact with the glowing green plants found on the ground all over the map. The pots are also found in more randomized locations. By using them, the plant will grow. Defend the plants from the purple-hued zombies that spawn until the plant pops, and that gives you free salvage and other rewards. These plants respawn every round, so you can repeat the process over and over and you just get free stuff. The pot sprayer thing is added to your inventory permanently after grabbing it. All the other ones are for your teammates if they want. They can do this weird secret too. The plants don't just spawn salvage either. You can get points for wall buys, equipment, weapons. The chances are a lot lower for something particularly good, but if you're shooting zombies and have nothing else to do for a round, it's worth it to spray a little whatever this is on the green sprouts. Next, at number 2, you can recycle stuff with Chompy, and it's a weird secret that's exclusive to zombies. There's hidden trash cans called Chompy that you can feed weapons in exchange for salvage. You'll need to melee the trash cans. They have a distinct look to them, and using melee causes the top to pop off. There's no interaction prompt when looking at the bins until you've knocked the top off with a melee attack, so they're pretty easy to miss if you haven't been attacking random things all over the map, and no one would blame you for not doing that. It seems like an odd thing to do. But anyway, once the top is off, look down and interact into the black void to see a Chompy prompt. Using Chompy, it'll eat whatever gun you're currently carrying and spit out salvage. You can use salvage to craft equipment or upgrade your armor level, and that's crazy useful in zombies. We recommend finding a mystery box and rolling for weapons as well. If you get something useless or a gun you don't want, just dump it in Chompy. Get a big bunch of salvage in return. Upgrading the crafting bench is really useful too, so don't waste your guns. Instead of dropping them on the ground after multiple rolls at the mystery box, feed those items to a Chompy. Once you recognize what a Chompy looks like, you'll notice them everywhere, and they're really not difficult to find. And finally, at number 1, there are new ways to grind. In Black Ops 6, Zombies mode was one of the best ways to grind for weapon XP. You get more consistent kills a lot faster in Zombies than in multiplayer, so even if you're not interested in competing in this mode, it's worth it for checking out the unlocks. And once again, it's the king of modes for earning weapon XP, and a lot of it if you're playing solo. Each kill rewards you with 100 XP, which is way better than the endgame, which only rewards you with 20 XP. Kind of pitiful when you remember that enemies are a lot more scarce and harder to kill in endgame. Like, endgame's a terrible way to grind, but Zombies is still an amazing alternative to multiplayer if you want to earn lots of unlocks. If you are more into the multiplayer side of things, congratulations, you like the part of the game that's good, and the best ways to grind are on small maps. Hardpoints and Domination are 2 modes you want to play over and over again. You score tons of kills, you throw lots of support gadgets, disabling or spotting enemies nets you assists, and all these things give you XP. You can also get more kills and more objective XP for these smaller maps, so they're just worth voting for these. And honestly, that's 10 simple tips we picked up on the first day of Black Ops 7, and let me just go ahead and say this, they don't tell you. Not one of these. Some of it is dealing with annoyance, some of it is useful stuff for the game, but in any case, it's all useful. So obviously we're interested in what you think. Leave us a comment. If you like what you see, click the button. We upload brand new videos every single day, so the best way to see those, of course, it's pressing the subscribe button, and we thank you very much for doing so, as well as for watching this video. I'm Falcon. Check out The Falcon Show by joining the 1% Club, our membership program. It's my podcast with Kevin and Eric. We're having a blast doing it, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.